Hi, Dinosaur Bob here, and welcome to the Game of Tomes, a competition for writers participating in National Novel Writing Month, or NaNoWriMo, and who are regular Twitch viewers, or who simply enjoy participating in virtual write-ins with a competitive but friendly spirit. In a previous video, we walked through setting up your Twitch stream to capture the word counts from your chatters during using channel reward points. In this video, we're going to walk through the process of reporting results to the game organizers, something that you should plan on doing after every one of your streams during NaNoWriMo. So let's get started. For this, you'll need two resources that Darth Nicholas has put together: the Google Sheets Game of Thrones Word Calculator and the Google Forms reporting form to deliver the information to the game organizers. The links for both of these can be found in the information below this video. But let's start with the word calculator. Clicking the link brings you to the read-only master copy of the spreadsheet. You're going to need to make your own local copy to use. That's easy to do. Just click the Make a Copy underneath the File menu. You'll be asked for a new name and a location to put it. I've set up a folder on my Google Drive called Game of Tomes Reports, so that's where I'm sending this. I'm also going to call this copy the master copy because I plan on saving a separate spreadsheet for each stream I do, and I suggest you do the same. That way, if there are ever any questions, I can go to the spreadsheet to see exactly what was supposed to be in the reporting form for that particular stream. So now let's assume you've just finished a stream and you're ready to report. For this, we're going to go back to your Twitch Stream Manager. And we're going to pull out the rewards queue by clicking on the ellipsis next to the activity feed, and then clicking on Manage Requests. This gives you a pop-out of your rewards queue. On the left, you see how many total requests you have in the queue. And then for each of your reward options listed, a count of how many of that request you've got. Before we process anything, the first thing we need to do is capture the complete list of requests. That's one of the things that you're going to need to submit. But before we even do that, let's clean up a few things. You may have a lot of extra things that have nothing to do with Game of Tomes. For example, I have a caffeinate request and I have a Hail Hydrate, to remind me to drink, and a sit up straight for posture check. You probably want to get rid of these from your stream. So to do that, you would basically come down here, see where any exist. Like I have a Hail Hydrate, click on it, and then just mark it as complete. And that takes it off the queue. So now if I come back and look at all requests, at least I know that's gone. And if I look down my list, I'll see that the only requests I have are requests that have something to do with the Game of Tomes. You may have something like showcase requests that you wish to keep around until next stream. We can live with those if we have to, but right now anything that you don't need and that isn't a Game of Tomes request, I would suggest you get rid of it. Now, for the screen capture, you're permitted to either use a collection of screen capture snapshots, or you can cut and paste the entire list into something like a Microsoft Word document and send that. I personally strongly prefer the latter, so I'm going to demonstrate that first. First, you create a blank Word document in your reports folder. Simply select, all right, and I've created a document already here. Then select the entire list. So I put my cursor at the top left corner, and I'm going to drag it down, and I'm going to keep going until it scrolls the whole thing down and I get the last line and the last word. I hit Control C to copy it. Then I come over to the Word document and hit Control V, which pastes it. And there we have the entire stream all ready to go in one Word document. All right. Make sure that that file is named in a way you can find it. And again, I would suggest you put some sort of a date stamp on the file. For example, I have this one, I'm calling it Sample Stream, but I have 2020 October 16th in the file name. That's the date I'm making this. So I save that. Okay, and I'm done with that. Alternatively, you can use screen captures. Alternatively, you can take screenshots using whatever utility you like. I'll be using the Windows snipping tool. Bring up the tool, grab a piece of the display, well, click New, grab a piece of the display that you want to snapshot, and I would suggest you make sure you capture whole pieces, like this. And then it's captured it, and then you just need to save it. All right, now I have some earlier examples here from when I was playing. So we'll just put in some new names here. And again, with these, I would suggest you not only date stamp them, but you also put a sequence number in the file name. And the reason why is because right now I've only captured the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I need to scroll this. I need to scroll this down until I have my next set. And then I can capture those. Save that file. And I'm giving that sequence number 2. And then we come back. And again, I have to start with this house Avis. So for the third one, I start here, come down, capture all of the bottom, save as one last time. And now I've captured all of those. If you have more items in the queue than can fit into one capture, as you saw, you'll have to repeat this process until you've got all of the requests. And as you can see, you need to be very careful not to catch the same request twice. And if you did a lot of sprints with a lot of chatters, you could end up with quite a number of captures to do. This is why I recommend the Microsoft Word copy-paste approach, but your final choice is up to you. Whichever way you do it, though, it's important to make a note of the date and the time that you're doing the capture. I, for example, have just finished doing this. It's October 16th, 2020, and it is 5:35 p.m., my local time. Those are important information, and they're going to be part of the stream report that we put together in a few minutes. You'll notice that the reward entries don't have absolute timestamps. All right, they say something like 20 minutes ago, or 1 hour ago, or yesterday. All right, this is why the actual date and time of your screen capture is needed. But now that you've got your screen safely stored away, let's load up that calculator I was talking about and prepare the reporting form. So I'm going to put this away for a second. So now this is a copy that I can work on. But I'm going to make one more copy to actually start doing this report. And that's because I want to leave this master alone and empty. And what I'm going to work on now is one called (2020-10-16). All right. I'm going to, just to make things a little easier to see, I'm going to pop this out into its own window so that I can shrink it down. And we'll see why in a second. And then I'm going to go back to that pop out of my reward queue. And those are the two things that I need to have handy and ready. So now that you've got everything ready to go, for each house on the left, and I'll start with House Mollusca. If you click on the house, it'll isolate just the requests or just the reward entries that went in for that house. And all you need to do is copy each of these numbers into the correct place on the form. So I have 102, I have 95, and I have 1,337. And yes, the people who are helping me out by putting random numbers into my stream to generate these for me to do this video had a lot of fun with the numbers. All right, so there's House Mollusca. I can immediately come over here and look and verify. I have 3 entries here. It found 3 numbers. That's right here. It found 3 entries. And you'll notice it already got the total for me, which I'll need again in a while. You need to repeat this for each of the houses that has requests. Now I'm going to jump around a little for a reason, but you'll see. All right, I'm going to do House Chiroptera. And DM Stretch did 10,000 words. That was a hell of a sprint. We have 305 and 100. Okay, and that one's done. Now, I'm going to make another suggestion, is as you complete putting these in, and as you verify that you have the right counts and everything looks good, I'm going to suggest that you mark them as complete. And that way you won't worry about double counting. And if you remember, I have to go back and do the same thing for House Mollusca. You don't worry about double counting. You've recorded them. Remember, you've already made a copy of this too. So if you do have to go back for something, you do have something to fall back on. Now, there are 2 special situations that you're going to come across. And let's talk about those. If you are a minor house master, like I am, then you're probably going to have an extra button on your channel requests for your house, like I do. And my house, during this stream, collected 6 different requests. So, because I'm a minor house, though, all of my words have to be pledged to one of the major houses. So what we're going to do is for each one of these, there's actually 2 places on this form where we're going to put the numbers. First, we're going to put the numbers in the major house that I am pledged to. Now, for the first week of the game, I'm pledged to House Apis, so that's where I'm going to put these. I'm going to put 350, 358, 0, 455, 1, and 331. I'm also going to put those numbers way out here on the right in the column that has my house name. 350, 338, and yes, I could copy and paste these if I wanted to do it that way as well. 0, 455, 1, 331. It's not that big a deal. All right, and we'll see now that I have 6 entries that went to House Apis, and I have 6 entries that went to Sauropoda. They better have the same total in them. They don't, which tells me I have a typo somewhere. 350, that should be 338. So there's actually a good way to check things there. And now everything agrees. So that's one special situation. The other situation is going to happen if you're a major housemaster, or if you're just a collector, or even if you are a minor housemaster, and this may come up for you as well. All right, but let me mark these and get these out of here. And that's the situation where somebody posts an entry into a major house, but indicates that they want to pledge them to a minor house or through a minor house. Now, it's contingent upon the people that are doing these postings to know which house a minor house is pledged to. When you're doing these forums, you're going to assume that they did that correctly. All right, we're not going to require that every streamer knows who everybody is pledged to at every minute of every part of this game. So I got something like this. It's under House Lappin. So I am going to give House Lappin the 128 points. But then I'm going to come over here and also say that those 128 points were collected in the name of House Varangia. Now, if House Varangia isn't really pledged to House Lappin, too bad. Lappin gets the points. All right, it's like I said, it's contingent on them to get it right. All right, it shouldn't happen that often. There shouldn't be many mistakes. You probably won't see too many of these anyway. And hopefully, again, there won't be too many mistakes. But we need to make this as easy as possible on the game organizers, and this is the best way to do it after talking to them. So this is what we're going to do. So I've finished that one. Do I have any more to go? I do not. I have now handled everything that's on that queue, I believe. Oh, nope, I forgot these. See that? And I could tell that by coming to all requests. It says I'm still missing some. I missed Poor House Avis. Sorry, Chrysalia. There's your 66 and 6 and 350, 402, 666, and 400. And now that I've got all of those done, my all request shows 0, and I know I'm done. So I've moved all of the entries for the house into the calendar. I'm sure that they're all accounted for. I've got them all marked complete. All right, so I'm ready to move on to the next step. Now what I have to do is bring up the reporting form that Darth Nicholas prepared. So I can put this away. And now I have to I will go to a link, and the copy of the link will be available to you down below. I believe it's this one. Yes, there it is. As before, I'm going to pull this out into a window of its own so that I can shrink it, and I can put it alongside of the calculator that has the numbers in it. And now it's just a matter of transferring these numbers and a little bit more information into the form, and we'll be done. So we start off with the reporting streamer. You click the open, find yourself, and you go. And then we just start entering numbers. Apis gets 1,475. Avis has 1,890. Chiroptera has 10,405. Lappin has 128. Melis has none. If you have 0, you can put the 0 in if you want, or you can leave it blank. It really doesn't matter. Maleska has 1,534. And because this is the first week, the undead horde had better have 0 unless you're actually Aaron reporting your own words. And then I have to just scroll down through the list of known minor houses and put in the copies of those as well. So, whoops. Sauropoda has 1475. Come on. better. And Varangia has 128. And just a few more bits of information. Again, remembering the date and the timestamp that we wrote down earlier, we need to include those. So it is October 16th, 2020. And the time that I recorded was 5:35 p.m. 05:35 p.m. And the last thing I need to do is I click this. I have to include the copy of the screenshots that I did. So I click that. I go hunting for my files. All right, and here's the Word document. I wouldn't put both. I could either have now I could either select the three window captures that I did, or I can select the Word file. I'm going to select the Word file. Click Open, click Upload, and that's done now. And that's it. You're done. Hit the Submit button, and you have now sent the report off to the game organizers, and you're done for the stream. So I hope this video helps you understand the reporting process. And I hope it helps you to navigate through this process as painlessly as possible. Thank you for watching, and enjoy Game of Tomes.